Hello everyone, my name is Komquat, and I wanted to show you a project I just discovered. This is a really cool thing, pretty exciting actually. As I'm sure some of you know, I've been doing a playthrough of Star Wars Dark Forces. I've been streaming it on Twitch and then posting the replays to both YouTube and Rumble. Now, Dark Forces is a first-person shooter from 1995. It's considered a Doom clone. Very old game, proprietary game engine developed by LucasArts. And it was sort of dead-ended, I guess, is the best way to put it. The source code was never released, and up until recently, the only way to play the game was to use the original DOS executables using DOSBox. Now, if you know anything about gaming history, and especially Doom, for me, Doom is still the greatest video game of all time. And even now, almost 30 years after its release, Doom is still a huge game. There's all kinds of community-created content being played. There's guys on YouTube playing the new maps and such, and the game's still going strong. It's been around almost as long as I've been alive. And a huge part of that was id Software open-sourced the source code. And a bunch of guys came along and they took the source code and they updated it, built new versions of Doom that play the original game, and they work on modern operating systems such as Windows 10 and Linux with newer features and all of that. Now, that never happened with Dark Forces because it was not the Doom engine. It was proprietary and never got released. Well, I stumbled into a project called the Force Engine. Now, the Force Engine is an independent project that is looking to build a modern replacement for the Jedi engine. Now, the Jedi engine is what Dark Forces ran on. It was that proprietary game engine. And here's their webpage from GitHub. Now, just to clarify, I have no affiliation with this project. I have no idea who's in charge of it. I just found their website, and it was really cool, so I decided to share it. Anyway, he's calling it the Force Engine. The Force Engine is a project to reverse engineer and rebuild the Jedi engine for modern systems and the games that used that engine, Dark Forces and Outlaws. The project includes modern built-in tools such as a level editor and makes it easy to play Dark Forces and Outlaws on modern systems, as well as the many community mods designed to work with the original games. Playing Dark Forces or Outlaws using the Force Engine adds ease of use and modern features such as higher resolutions and modern control schemes such as mouse look. Using the built-in tools allows for easier modding with a more modern UI, greater flexibility, and the ability to use enhancements made to the Jedi engine for Outlaws in custom Dark Forces levels, such as slopes, stacked sectors, per-sector color maps, and more. Note that this project aims to replace the executables, but you will still need the original game data to play. This is not a remake, but a way to make the original games easier to play on modern systems. If you do not already own Dark Forces and or Outlaws, you will need to purchase them to play using the Force Engine. Both games are currently available on the Steam and GOG digital stores. So yeah, really cool project. I decided to go ahead and download it and give it a check out. And I got to admit, I'm very impressed. Now, the game engine is free. I'll link the website in the description below. And it's also open source. If you're the developer type, you can go to GitHub, pull the source. Looks like it's all C++ using SDL type rendering. And it's got a Visual Studio solution to it. But yeah, here you go. Here's a new version of Dark Forces. My understanding is the developer has done a lot of reverse engineering and decompiling in order to get compatibility with the original game. So it actually looks really close. If you check the roadmap, basically the Dark Forces side of the game is done. The only major bug I know about, or not bug, but issue, he claims the iMuse system doesn't work yet, so you don't necessarily get reactive music that responds to the current state of the game that you're in. That's a pretty minor detail, really. Everything else in Dark Forces seems to work, except the mission editor. That did not work for me. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or what, but anyway, let's fire up the Force Engine and give it a look. Now, the start screen is a little different. Obviously, this is newer, and like it says, pre-release. I don't think OBS is capturing. There we go. Sorry, that took a moment to switch. Pre-release test build, expect bugs, and missing features. Now, the first thing you have to do is go to settings, go to game, and you need to set the path to your game data. This is just a game engine. It is not the game itself, so you need the original Dark Forces game if you want to play it. Now, I pointed it at the Dark Forces installation that's in my DOSBox sandbox, so it's pointing at the DOS version of the game. Outlaws points to something in Steam. I don't have it in Steam, so no big deal. And you get to select the game. The Outlaws side, my understanding is that is still under development and is not available. And a quick comment, if you go over to graphics, you can set the resolution. I'm running 1080p here. I'm kind of in a weird window mode. I'm using a 40-some inch 4K screen, and this is windowed mode, otherwise it's way too big. He's going to have multiple renderers. Right now, the only one available is the classic software renderer, which aims to completely replicate the original Dark Forces rendering engine. Now, I believe he's going to add in perspective correction and probably OpenGL type stuff. I don't know. This is the only one that exists. So let's click Start and give it a quick look. Here's the classic LucasArts splash screen in all its pixelated 320 by 200 glory. And it looks like we got cutscenes, so it's a... I'm going to skip it after a moment, but I'll give you a little preview. So it's going to play the original introduction to the game. It's got the Star Wars opening crawl and a description of what's going on. The MIDI music has improved quite a bit. So DOSBox, obviously the game just used MIDI tracks, and it just sent the MIDI to your soundtrack or your sound card back in the day. And whatever MIDI engine was in your sound card is what you got. Now, DOSBox emulates an old Sound Blaster 16, which was kind of the standard sound card for the first half of the 90s. And it gets the job done, but it's not the best MIDI player. The sound quality is a little dull. And, I mean, it gets the job done, like I said. This, though, it's using, I assume it's using the Windows MIDI player, which is much, much better. And so the sound quality, the musical instrument quality is a lot higher. Okay, now if we check the screen here at the agent menu, if you've been following my YouTube series or watching me on Twitch, this is the current state of my DOS game that I've been playing in DOSBox. So the Force engine picked that up. I had just played Robotics Facility. Actually, no, I was up there Nar Shaddaa. I don't know why that's not showing. Maybe it made a copy. I don't know. Anyway, let's pick a mission. Let's go to Detention Center because that one is a ton of fun. Begin mission. Yeah, the original cutscenes play. So there's the Arc Hammer, and we'll have the little scene with Crix Medine being held hostage. We'll skip that. Here's your mission briefings. All the original game data is still here, still works. Click OK and go into the game. Now, first thing you're going to notice is the resolution is much, much higher. I mean, this is 1080p-ish. My window size is a little weird, but otherwise, this is Dark Forces in high resolution running on Windows 10 without using DOSBox. Pretty cool. And I have modern mouse look working too. The game does not have perspective corrections. If you look up or look down too much, it gets distorted and honestly a little bit nauseating, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, if you have motion sickness problems, you might want to wait until he has the perspective corrected version. Controls are slightly different from what I had set up before, but I'm not sure how to crouch. Anyway, we can go to configuration and look at the settings here real quick. Okay, crouch is left control. I'm used to crouch being C. I use a modified version of the original DOS controls, by the way, normally, so this is a little different. Space is jump, so that's a little more modern. I'm used to X key being jump. And this plays a lot smoother than the DOS version. Frame rate's higher. The mouse input works a lot better. Now let's see if this... So if you saw my robotics facility video, you noticed I mentioned this bug about crossing sector boundaries. How they kind of pop back and forth. This even replicated that. So he did a really good job reverse engineering the rendering engine to the point that the old bugs are still here. I'm not going to play the whole mission. I'm just going to step through a bit and kind of show the game off. Creep up to the edge here. Original skybox. The cool thing is you can actually see these guys across the pit now. Before, the original game ran 320 by 200 resolution. That was all computers at the time really did. Some of the Visa video modes were not widely available yet. And that was just your limitation running a DOS system. And the downside to that is on games like this, you could not see, you could not see long distances. Things just turned into pixelated blobs. Well, now you can actually see these commandos across the way. There's actually some clarity to the game now. I'm gonna keep going here. Oh, what's the alt? Okay, right click is alt fire. You're very limited in the controls you can configure in DOSBox, so one of the things I've had to deal with is alt fire is Z. You can't bind the right mouse click to that, but this does, so left click is standard fire, right click is alt fire. That actually works now. And if I look across the way here, I can actually see that commando on the floating platform. Pretty cool stuff. You can even see the Imperial logo on the doors over there. Those were just 1 or 2 red pixels in the original, running through DOSBox. Here we have the floating shuttle platform thing. I keep hitting space because I'm used to that being the activate key, but now it's E. One interesting thing is how small this area looks now. When it's pixelated, it actually gives you a larger sense of scale. And, you know, with that gone, with the more modern rendering, things look smaller. It just does. I mean, this platform is literally right here. But when you're coming through from that side, you can barely see the guys inside this room because it's so pixelated. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to play the whole mission, but I'm going to do the shortcut way. Oops. This texture looks really nice in high resolution. And the mouse look is smooth. I don't have that in my DOS playthrough. Every time you see me looking up and down, I'm actually taking my hand off the mouse and using the page up and page down keys. You gotta use page up, page down to look up and down, and then the numpad 5 recenters the view. And that's how I've been playing. But now, I don't know where I'm getting shot from. Now I'm just mouse up and down to look up and down, and it works. It's modern. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but it does seem like auto-aim is working a little better. Could just be me. I have a lot of trouble with auto-aim in this game. There is a chance it's related to the low resolution, perhaps. I haven't checked the source code, so I don't know. Okay, I mentioned this in my main playthrough. Normally, this door's locked with the red key. And you gotta go down this elevator, clear out a bunch of floors, go to the other elevator, clear out a bunch more floors, you get the red key, come all the way back, and then that lets you go. Well, that takes a while. And I mentioned the shortcut. I showed you this crack before, but I didn't actually take it. I set off a landmine. Cool. Jump key is still weird. Oh, I know. I gotta drop the elevator 1 floor. Otherwise, it is in the way. There we go. Okay. The platforming's gonna be rough because the controls are weird. So, jump down here.
You there, stop where you are.
Okay. Interesting. Door opened and the stormtrooper saw me. Now let's see if I can do this without dying. I made it. This is like 20 minutes into the playthrough. Oh yeah, there's a turret above me. Auto aim did not want to get him, so I guess auto aim isn't that much better. I seem to move faster too. I've had some issues with the DOS version of the game that I can't explain. Sometimes I just move really slow, and I think something with the shift run key is not being captured by DOSBox, and that's caused a lot of my platforming issues you've watched, with me being bad at jumping and all that. Okay, here is the trash compactor with the Dianogas. Go through here. Watch my back while I wait for the elevator to come back down. Okay. Jump across. Jump across again. Yeah, I'm consistently moving faster, so there's something about input capture that is working a lot better in this than in the DOS game. Okay, switch to prototype Dark Trooper gun. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button here. It's trying to alt fire. I'm gonna blast everyone. Kill the officers, grab their keys. Let's do this real quick. Let's look at the inventory. Actually, let's take a look at the map. It looks the same, other than being higher resolution. I am a bit interested in seeing the map editor to see how that looks. Some of these missions with all the overlapping sectors, it's kind of hard to tell what's where, and it just would be cool to get a good look at them. Go to inventory, code 2. I believe code 2 is the one for Krixmadine. FXR. Oh, there's a secrets counter. Did not know about that. Okay, FXR. FXR. And there's Krixmadine.
Okay, Jan. I've rescued Madine. Don't hang around. Let's get out of here before any more troopers arrive.
In case anyone wondered. Oh, you can shoot him. Okay. Doesn't hurt him, but... Press escape key to end mission, so that's still the same. Go to next mission. Takes us back to the menu. So yeah, I don't think I have too much more to say about that, other than this is just a really cool project I wanted to share. Especially with the level editor that's in it. If that gets working, it does not for me. I'll show that real quick, just to show you what's going on in case the developer's watching. Quit to DOS, are you sure? Yeah, I don't know if you're going to quit to DOS. I don't have DOS. So you go to editor. I just get a black screen. I don't know what this is about. But still, really cool project. It looks like the Dark Forces side is complete. So if you want to play Dark Forces, I highly recommend downloading this. You'll have to go buy the original game off Steam or find a CD on eBay or whatever. I actually have an original DOS CD from 1995. Shows how old I am. But yeah, play it through the Force engine, and you'll get a much more modern experience, higher resolution, a lot more clarity in the graphics, better mouse support. There's really no downsides to it. Hopefully, with the level editor, as all this takes shape, hopefully we'll see a lot more for the game. I mean, one of the things that kept Doom going for so many years is the source engines like Boom and GZ Doom and the modern level editors. I mean, there's literally maps and maps and maps being made every year. I mean, go check out Doom World sometime and look at the Keiko Awards and see some of the cool stuff people are coming up with today, like all the Sunlust and Stardate 20x6, 20x7 going down. If you watch Tessino on YouTube, I do. He plays a lot of Doom and he goes through all that. It's just really cool to see how the game has evolved in the past 30 years. Dark Forces couldn't do that because the tools were not available. Well, now that's changing, and it is. So my hope is that the Force engine does to Dark Forces what Boom and GZ Doom did for Doom. Anyway, enough said. check the links below. I'll put the links in the video description, and you can check everything out and see what you think of it. Until next time, I can't talk. Smooth outro, and I don't edit. So until next time, my name's Rotten Komquat, and I'll be back with more Dark Forces soon. Thanks for watching.